Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, y'all, I'm late. My bad. But I need to stop apologizing for that because I'm always late. My goodness. Y'all know what it is, okay? Today I'm here to review Love and Marriage Huntsville and Real Housewives of Atlanta. If I'm being completely honest with y'all, I talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta last week, and I let y'all know my grievances after not reviewing the show for 2 episodes. I still feel the same damn way. Also, I forgot to check in with y'all, friends. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay and if y'all saw me okay at the beginning. I still feel the same damn way about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think I'm going to save Real Housewives of Atlanta for the last review. And for right now, we're going to get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. I really just wanted to pop in and say, hey, we halfway through the week. It's hump day. I didn't want another week to go by without checking in and talking to y'all about these shows. I had a good night last night. Ooh Ladies First Panel, which usually comes on Thursdays, actually premiered on Tuesday on Bonnie Blue's channel. So if you wanted to hear the group conversation about these TV shows and some other topics, head on over to Bonnie's channel and listen for that, okay? But for now, y'all, let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. So the episode starts off, we are still at the baby shower, y'all, and Tiffany is seeing stars. Tiffany seeing stars. She just every time she closes her eyes, she's seeing stars, and she just wants Louis. She just wants her husband. Stormy is hovering over her. It don't really look like Stormy is providing any help. I mean, I think she asked her if she wanted some water, and Louis was like, "Hey, can you go get somebody?" So as soon as Louis is like, "Hey, Stormy, go do something," we see Stormy in her confessional. Stormy is in her confessional talking about, whenever I see somebody going through it, I just like to take charge. That's usually what I do, is I like to take charge. And I'm like, Stormy, it didn't look like you was taking charge. Stormy, it looked like it was an opportunity for you. And y'all might think I'm reaching, but trust me, I know, okay? I've seen this in action before. So let me go ahead and reach, okay? Since that's what I said I was going to do. My reach theory is that, and I'm laughing because I know y'all got mad about this shit last time I said it. I won't stereotype and say all only children. I will say some only children with a hint of codependency have the need to want to fit in. They have the need to want to excel and impress people. They are people pleasers. And we got that from Stormy from the beginning. Whenever it came to the purses with Destiny, I just wanted to make sure we Gucci. People pleaser. When it came to her questioning Destiny down in the first place, when it came to Mel, people pleaser. When it came to you assisting Tiffany, now I'm not going to say I don't think that you were not concerned for this girl. I think you were, but I also think just based on the way that you talked about what you did in the moment in which Tiffany was going through it, to me, I felt like, okay, you knew that this was a moment for you to go from top 10 friends list on MySpace to top 3. And I think that's what you was trying to solidify. But whatever, okay? That's my reach. So Louis ends up telling Stormy to go get some help. Stormy gets Kimmy. Kimmy says, baby, I think it's your blood pressure. I think you need to call 911. And all of a sudden, Tiffany don't want to call 911. Tiffany thinks it's just her pressure. She's never felt that way before, but she don't want to call 911. Y'all tell me in the comments, okay? Tell me in the comments, do you think that Tiffany was faking? Yes or no? I will say this. I think that Tiffany absolutely had something going on, but I think that Tiffany was boosting a little bit. I think she just likes being in this, in this state of fragility. I think that she likes to be a little bit messier than she normally is because she's in this state of fragility. I think that she likes to be the, oh, Louis, they came at me, because she's in this state of fragility. And there ain't nothing wrong with that, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like, literally, I am riding for Tiffany this season. I am. I'm not mad at Tiffany for none of this. So when I say that she was giving a little bit of extra, hey, Kiana said dramatic. I don't feel no type of way about it. Like, okay, Tiffany, somebody is gonna have to put on a show. And I guess it's just gonna have to be you. Thank you for making this show a little more entertaining for me this season. So Lewis ends up taking her to the hospital. Somebody said we gonna call 911. Big Lou said, "Excuse me, with whose money? I'm not getting no bill." And he picked her ass up and carried her out to that truck, and he drove off. I don't even know what he drove off like. He drove off like he was running from something. That truck said, "Drrr." I was like, damn, he wasn't playing no games. He drove the truck like it was a damn Corvette. But he said, not on my watch are we getting a hospital bill. So he packed her off and took her on. Hey, Miss Cookie Ray. She says, haven't had a baby at 34. If she wasn't faking and chose not to have someone call 911, I'm concerned about her decision making and the safety of that baby. I think that's a really good point, Miss Cookie. Now, another reason why I'm like, okay, girl, I think you were boosting is because let's just jump to this. Later on, we see Lewis and Tiffany back at the house. And Tiffany is talking about going on a damn work trip while her husband is in tears, saying that it scared him to know that she and the baby could have been in danger, in harm's way. Like your health was on the line, girl. So that's another reason why I'm like, okay, you tripping. You couldn't even stand up. You was crying for your husband, but you think you about to go out of town for the weekend for a damn work trip? Girl, it's given you knew your husband was outside and the Scott brothers was probably going to end up throwing paws like they always do. And you was like, hold on, let me cry real quick, is what I was thinking. So yeah, another thing that happens in this conversation with Lewis and Tiffany is that he ends up checking her about her involvement and her investment and asking Sheree all these questions. Now I'll say this, and we talked about it last night on the show. When Lewis checked Tiffany, I was agreeing with everything he said. Does Mel ask you for advice? No, she doesn't. It's none of your business. Don't get him in drama, right? But I feel two ways. On one hand, somebody, like a show has to be made. The show must go on. Sheree is on Real Housewives of Atlanta saying that's her man. She gonna stick beside him. Martell is on Love and Marriage Huntsville talking about that's his damn friend girl. And somebody has to bridge the gap. Somebody literally has to bring the two together. Don't come on this show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Sheree, and try to portray Martell to be the man who you want him to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is a great dad. He's a great father. And, you know, a lot of people say bad things about him, but he's such a great man. Okay, but over here on this show, Sheree, you got to know who your man is. And I'm glad that Tiffany asked you the questions that needed to be asked. Is it that you think your cooch is so good that he not going to cheat? That's the real question. That's what I want to know. Because it sounds like you're living in a state of delusion. And I'm not mad at Sheree for bringing that up at all. At Tiffany for bringing that up at all. So, yeah, Lewis ends up saying she don't need to give advice. I'm like, okay, logically that makes sense. But in terms of the TV show, this is the bullshit that I'm here for. Next, y'all, we move on to the groundbreaking ceremony. And I don't know what we're celebrating. Somebody in the comments who actually paid attention to this scheme that they set up. Somebody tell me in the comments what the groundbreaking, picture setup was for. It was very much giving, what the number 1, 2, and 3 people that you should stay away from are people who take pictures like this, and they look at the camera. People who take pictures like this, and they look at the camera, and people who stand in front of dirt with shovels and helmets on, and they look like they're ready for business, specifically people in heels. Stay away from all 3 of those people, because what I'm telling you right now is they here to take your money. They here to take your money. Pretty much like the Scots is doing with this damn Black business expo. Don't trust Nobody who take pictures that look like they about their business. Point in case number one. Y'all see Martell Holt right here in this picture? Martell Holt has his elbow on his leg. He has his hands on his chin, and I'm wondering what he's thinking about because it's not a motherfucking builder's license. Okay? He's thinking about suits. So, I want y'all to be weary of people like that because majority of the time they look like they about business, but it's not really giving business. It's giving sticks and rocks. Okay, so y'all, basically at the groundbreaking ceremony, they end up talking about the Black Business Expo and they want to know who's in and who's out. They feel like this should be a situation where everyone donates their time because the community has supported them in all their endeavors since 2018. Now, I want y'all to pay attention if they keep saying 2018 as if they weren't a group before 2018. 2018 was when the show came about. And that's when Mel got her notoriety. That's whenever Martell and Mel were the leads of the show. And y'all have been wanting to recreate that ever since, which is something that I've been saying since the beginning of this season. Hence, y'all trying to turn Tisha from a delusional housewife to a boss bitch, okay? That's the rebranding. Hence, Marceau all of a sudden realizing that his wife can be a partner and not necessarily a sheep. Y'all, there's logic in this. Hence, I'm not going to stop there. Every time we see Marceau and Tisha, it's, hey, baby girl, smooch, smooch. We're seeing this more than we've seen any other season. Now, I would hope for the sake of their real lives that their marriage is in a better spot. We've seen a lot. We've seen his back, allegedly. And I would hope that y'all have weathered the storm for the sake of y'all's family. But it's just a little awkward for me to see y'all go from, not really having any form of intimacy on the show to you leading last season, making Tisha a cup of coffee, to you forcing down our throats that Tisha is a boss and she's the president of the company, yet she's getting kicked out of her offices. Tell me how that works. Tell me how that works. I don't understand. So yeah, basically they want to know who's in, who's out. In other words, let me translate that for y'all. Who can we use to make us money? Who's going to let us gaslight them? And who's not? Period. So next, y'all, we move on to Martell, and he is meeting up with a suit designer, a fashion designer, I should say. And I'm actually familiar with that man's wedding video because he walked down the aisle or rode down the aisle on a horse. And he went viral when that happened. I was like, wow, this is extra, but I'm here for it. And honestly, y'all, that scene for me was a good scene, I have to say. When I seen Martell sit down with these people and talk business, and it was actually some shit that I feel like he could do, I was happy for him. I was like, okay, this is the type of shit that you should be doing. But the comical part about it is that he's doing what he does best, which is being the face, being the spokesperson, and not having the, I guess I would say, credentials. Martell is known for wearing suits. This makes perfect sense. But as far as starting a business, starting your own suit line, that's not him. But he is definitely going to ride a project and get some commission off of it at the end of it. And I think that this is the right thing to do for him. This is absolutely the right thing to do for him. Very similar to how Martell was building houses with no license and still getting commission off of it at the end of the day. That's crazy as fuck to me. But it's also genius as fuck because somebody that can succeed off of who you know in your relationships, man, this is something you should have been doing. Now, shout out to J-Dub. Go check out his channel. J-Dub says, does Martell have $100,000? Because at the end of this conversation, to get started in the business, you got to put down $100,000. And the designer ends up telling Martell, you don't have to do it all at once. We can take it in installments. So if you want to do 25, 25, 25, 25, that's fine. Now, do I think that Martell has $100,000? The answer is no for me. Do I think that Martell could go get $100,000? Easily, easily. I feel like Martell has built relationships with people, and he's been able to build houses with no license, like I said for the 100th time. And I feel like he could make $100,000. Maybe he can make 25, and then 25, and then 50. But I definitely think that it's something that he can do. I think it's something he should have been doing. Definitely, instead of doing like wine, instead of doing a damn calendar. I think that this is definitely more his speed. So I'm like, okay, good for you, Martell. So finally, y'all, we get to the last scene. And the last scene is the meeting with the comeback group. And we find out that Kimmy says that they're still paying taxes on the comeback group. She wants to know, why the hell do y'all want to start a new group if I'm still paying taxes on the old name? All y'all are doing is reinventing shit. She then lets us know in her confessional that that they're not doing this. She doesn't say it like this, but I'm gonna tell y'all how I interpret it, which is they're not doing it from the goodnesses of their heart. Because if they were, why is black spelled black with the QU instead of just black CK? Ha ha, y'all. Black, the Black Lounge. It's all going under the same business, y'all. This is a write-off. I would love to know what time of year this was done, because my thing is this: maybe they weren't gonna make any money off of it, but when you make a whole lot of money, you owe a lot of money. Like Karen said from Real Housewives of Potomac, it take millions to owe millions, baby, and that's what she said when they owed all that money in taxes. Ask Robin Dixon. So one of the things you do whenever you owe a gang of money at the end of the year, you start all these nonprofits. Why? Because you can pay yourself whatever you want to pay yourself from the nonprofit. And you can also give back and use that as a tax write-off. So what can we do whenever we're making too much money from our lounge? We're making money on the show and these apartment buildings. We do another nonprofit. And that's exactly what they want to do. But in this situation, I believe they want to use the likeness of the people on the show. And most importantly, I think they want to use the likeness of Melody Holt, because why is this Melody Sheree? Let me say that. Why is this a continuous conversation about are you in or are you out when it's clear that these people want to get paid? I think they know the weight that Mel's name holds when it comes to these meetups. Like, who the hell want to go to a Love and Marriage Huntsville expo? Because that's exactly what the fuck it is. Who wants to go to a Love and Marriage Huntsville expo and Mel is not there? Hey, Delia. Mel is not there. Like, I don't know. It's not really giving. So, yeah. Kimmy and Mel end up having a conversation before everybody else comes in. And Kimmy is just too smooth with it, y'all. She is smooth as fuck. She ends up saying how she, has 6 more weeks of chemo. It's her last round. Hey, Ricardo, Randy Ricardo. And she says, I feel like I need to go on a vacation. And Mel said, yeah, you should. She said, so I saw you were on vacation. Where were you? And Mel essentially tells her to mind her business. Mel posted a picture online with a man's arms wrapped around her, what looked like a man's arms. But she said, no face, no case. I'm not telling you who this man is, right? But I will say, as in, like, what is today? The 14th of 2023? Mel was on live with somebody. And I don't know if this is supposed to be her man. Y'all tell me. Let me know if y'all saw Mel's live. It was a man named Ali, and she explained what he did in business. Sounded like a man with a lot of money, and he dropped his email in the thing, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Oh, Nafisa's daughter, shout out to you. She said Ali is a billionaire that she met at the resort. That makes sense. Pacino Rule says he's not her man. Okay, because I was so confused. I was like, hold on. She went on vacation by herself, but now we see Ali. I'm like, who is this man? Just somebody she met. Okay, thank y'all. She allegedly met him on vacation. Okay. So I guess Mel is still not giving anybody that type of information on who she's dating. She said in her live this week that she is single. So I'm like, interesting. Because I had a feeling that she was dating somebody a couple months ago. She just wanted to say who it was. But maybe she's dating and she is single. Because that's the way you should do it when you've been married to a suspected narcissist for 14 years and you gave him 5 years to cut her off. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the group arrives, y'all, and Martell goes in for a handshake with Mel, and he's rejected. And I don't feel no type of way about Mel rejecting him for a handshake because it's like, boy, stop playing in my fucking face. For real. You got me in court trying to get passwords to my social media. You're trying to take full custody of my kids, and you want me to pay you some type of spousal support for having the kids. Boy, fuck you, okay? Respectfully is how I would be feeling. I would not give him a handshake. So what I think, y'all, what I keep saying repeatedly over and over again is I think that we keep seeing instances of Martell trying to look like the bigger person. I think we got that at the beginning of the season. Whenever he offered to walk her to her car, she refused. Everybody was really on some, oh, Mel, I don't know. They don't walk you to the car. You know, you're still the mother of his children. Let him do it, right? We saw that then. We even saw it. I can't think of another time. I'm sure y'all can hold me accountable in the comments and let me know when. But we seen it this episode where he reached out for a handshake. She rejected him. And then at the end of the conversation, he still went up for Mel talking about, oh, well, Mel needs her money. Mel should get her money. Y'all, the reason why I don't think that came from a genuine place is because you know that everybody saw her reject you for a handshake and you still want to act like you support her in her businesses, which you should. You should support her because that money feeds y'all's 4 kids, because that's something that you're going to talk about repeatedly. Sashi says he always puts on his best on the show. In person would label her as bitter because they don't see the big picture. I agree 100%. J-Dub says Martell wants her back. It's no secret. And Pacino says we know Marty's tricks now. I agree. So anyway, Tisha gets the group together, and y'all remember they're trying to brand her into a girl boss this season, even more than what we've known her to be. Okay, I'm not trying to take this lady's credentials because maybe she is a girl boss, but the Tisha that you presented to us since 2018 on the show has not been that. It has not been that. So in efforts to rebrand, instead of Marceau leading the group conversation, he lets Tisha lead it. And Tisha, you know, you can tell she practiced this speech in the mirror a couple times. Her voice is a little shaky. And she ends up saying, so, well, I've decided that we're not paying anyone. We're not paying anyone for the Black Business Expo. Everyone has supported our business since 2018, and I don't think it'll be right. And Marceau ends up saying, at this point in time, I associate anyone's want for money with selfishness and greed. Y'all, tell me this. Can you imagine going to your job, you know, doing what you're supposed to do for, let's say, 5 years, and then 1 week out the year, you're like, hold on, you didn't pay me for this 1 week. And you go to your employer and you say, hey, I'm not understanding you didn't pay me for this 1 week. And your employer says, hey, we've been supporting your household for the past 5 years. The least you could do is come and work for us for free for this 1 week. And by you coming to me asking for your check, I'm going to align this with selfishness and greed. Do y'all know that y'all would be escorted out the building because y'all probably would be going off on everybody? y'all probably would have lost it on everybody in that building, because one thing I don't play about is my money and my time. So I feel like this is a bunch of gaslighting. This is a tactic to play in everybody's faces. And we all know at the end of the day, this is beneficial to the Scotts. So Maurice agrees that he doesn't even think that they should be paid. And Mel says, well, listen, I think it's funny that you're offering to use the sponsorships to help my business when nobody's ever helped any of my nonprofits. Nobody's ever reached out to support Mimosas with Mel. It's too fresh. It's too fresh. Keep in mind, y'all, last episode, Mel was the one who even mentioned sponsorships. Tisha and Marcel hadn't even said a word, hadn't even thought 2 steps ahead to talk about sponsorships. Now, all of a sudden, it's a I scratch your back, you scratch mine, right? So Tisha says, well, Mel, when I did try to support your business, I tried to support your skincare line, I was escorted out. And then they show us the flashback with the red-faced white boy, which was funny as hell. And he's like, excuse me, man, I've been asked to escort you out of the building. And Mel was like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about sponsorships, and we're talking about supporting each other's businesses. And I agree with Mel. That has nothing to do with nothing, Tisha. You got escorted out because y'all was beefing, okay? And in this situation, I think that's a perfect example as to why I would never do anything for you for free. I would never do anything for you for free because our relationship is too fragile. One day we fuck with each other, the next day we don't. In reality, we really don't fuck with each other deep down. So why would I do some shit for you for free where you would be in control of any type of income and you could decide if you wanted to pocket it or not? And all of a sudden it's a write-off for your business, the BlaQu with a Q, business esco, right? So Kimmy ends up bringing it up, and that's when she exposes everything in her confessional, says it's hard to believe that they wouldn't make any money. And Tisha says, well, you can believe whatever you want to believe. At this point, y'all, they're getting upset. Why? Because they're calling your cards. You're getting upset because somebody's calling your cards, and people know how nonprofits work. This is what you see when you see a bunch of business people in a room, and they know that there's a bigger game than what's being said. They are not some fools, okay? So the episode pretty much ends right there. Love and Marriage Huntsville, this episode to me was not given as much as it could have gave. It really could have gave some more. But I love how Kimmy was really calling them on everything. Let me know if y'all have some thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville. But for right now, we're going to circle on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if y'all wondering why I'm not on camera that much today, it's because I had my bangs out today. My hair was looking cute this morning, but it's like a 10-day forecast of rain on top of it being like upwards of 90 damn degrees outside in Dallas. So it's humid as fuck. My edges is rolled up, okay? It's just not giving what it's supposed to give, y'all. And I got probably one more solid day of walking around like this before I get my Old Faithful. Yeah, before I get some braids. I can't do this no more, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, let me see y'all's comments real quick. SJ Does says Boss Baby was getting emotional. Boss Baby was Tisha. And Pacino Rule says production is insulting the intelligence of the audience. Delia says, girl, we understand. Hell yeah. Tia, hell yeah. They rolled up. Kiana says, you know where you need to come. I do. If y'all in the Dallas area, go ahead and get you some braids. Stop by Braids by Kiana. Okay? Period. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all like the video real quick, and then we're going to move on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, y'all. I hope y'all did what needed to be done. I hope y'all liked the video. I hope y'all shared it with a friend. I hope you made sure that you were subscribed. And if you already subscribed, then go ahead and turn on the notifications. So that way, when I decide to go live on a random Wednesday instead of a random Sunday or Monday or any other day, you're notified. And also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because we do have a like group chat type situation on Instagram. And anytime I go live, I drop the link, or like if I see something funny on Instagram, I send it to y'all. I do have the ability to give some of y'all like the opportunity to talk and message back and forth, but I don't know like who I want to add, because I don't know y'all's Instagram names. So if y'all want to talk to each other in that chat, it's low key like Discord. I just need to go ahead and make a Discord. But if y'all want to talk to each other on Instagram and like send posts back and forth in like our reality TV show chat, send me a message on Instagram. Follow me at Necey Dixon, and then I will give y'all the ability to talk to each other in there, because I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. Hey T. T says, y'all, I just left the gym and jumping on here first thing like it's my post-workout snack. Hey, friend. That's exactly what I'm about to do when I get up off the phone with y'all. I'm about to get something in, because one thing I know for sure is these legs are getting out of control. My legs is getting out of control, but that's all right. Okay? Y'all want to know who else is out of control? Fucking Marlo Hampton. Fucking canned peaches. Fucking Dole peaches with the corn syrup sitting at the bottom. That's really not healthy for you, okay? That's who's doing the most, y'all. It's Marlo Hampton. I talked to y'all last week, and I was really feeling some type of way about the way that this show has been going on. People are talking about the ratings. I was like, okay, the ratings really aren't that big of a deal. Like, yada, yada. I don't really care, right? I didn't think they was that big of a deal. But to be honest, y'all, it's horrible. I'm sorry. And it's not because like, well, that's a lie. The storylines are horrible. I'm going to say that. Not every single one of them, though. That's crazy. Drew has an amazing storyline. We know that she's going to be headed towards divorce. Candy has an amazing storyline. We know that she's nominated for a Tony. Sheree, girl, bye. Marlo, girl, bye. Kenya is going to give regardless of the storyline. Kenya always gives every season. I love it. Even when I hated her, I love it, right? Sonya is actually giving a really good storyline when it comes to her sister and her family dynamic. This is a episode, again, where I think I'm just going to freestyle this review because they really wasn't giving shit. I'm sorry. So, y'all, the episode starts out and they end up showing flashback footage. And I really appreciate them for showing the receipts. They go all the way back to, I think, like 2018, maybe. They might have went back earlier than that. And they show, like, Marlo and Candy being cool. Then they show the actual shooting that happened. Well, they didn't show the shooting. But they show Candy and Marlo's conversation post the shooting and the murder of Marlo's nephew. Now, if you have not been paying attention to the show, if you ain't been tuning into my reviews or anything like that, Marlo is reaching for a damn storyline. Marlo is doing shit that doesn't make sense. There was recently, I guess last year I should say, there was a shooting at Candy's restaurant, Blaze. Marlo then claims that she's triggered by the shooting at Candy's restaurant, and it reminds her of her nephew who died because his roommate killed him, who used to work for Candy. You guys, Marlo's nephew did not die in Candy's restaurant. Matter of fact, Marlo's nephew was not even employed by Candy's restaurant when he passed away. Marlo, your nephew is rolling over in his motherfucking grave knowing that you are using his name for a storyline. Similar to how you're using the two nephews who live with you name for a storyline. I'm quite disgusted. And I ain't never seen nobody so gutter with any type of peach, flute, or anything. When I tell y'all Marlo's gutter as fuck. I don't care how many designers you have on. I don't care how many rich white men you finesse. Marlo is gutter as fuck. Anybody who has this low of morals completely disgust me. I'm sorry. I'm completely disgusted that you would use your dead nephew as a storyline to get at Candy. It's disgusting. Go do something. My goodness. So yeah, y'all, this show is going downhill because of Marlo fucking Hampton, for sure. So we see Marlo at the beginning of the episode, and she talking about dating. Girl, stop playing, for real. She also talks about how, anytime Marlo told Kenya her mother didn't want her, gutter as fuck. Gutter as fuck. Gives no fucks. Y'all be weary of people like that. Be weary of people who give no fucks. Literally. You at least got to give a little bit of one. But for you to tell somebody that their mama don't want them, knowing that that's a trigger, for you to bring up your dead nephew, for you to come on TV and your storyline is to be a Monty and then kick your nephews out the fucking house once you get on the show, and then bring them back once the internet lights your ass up, disrespectfully, I'm disgusted. Disgusted. So anyway, you guys, Marlo is mad that Drew called Candy shooting at the restaurant an incident instead of using the word shooting. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Drew is low-key full of shit, and she trying to get in where she fit in, right? When it comes to this, some things I can get with Drew on and some things I cannot. This is one thing I can't get with Drew on. I think Drew has every right to call something an incident if she wants to. I think she didn't want to smoke with Candy, but at the same time, I've never heard anybody say they don't say the word shooting because they're from Chicago. I have heard Drew say countless times that she's from Chicago, but I ain't never seen her get down like that, to be for real, for real. One thing I do know is anytime somebody say where they from, they can't fight. They can't fight. It is so hilarious, y'all. So y'all know we friends here, right? Because I be having a talk and have these little side conversations with y'all. I grew up in the suburbs. North of Dallas, Texas. And me and my sister, we used to go to the mall and everything. And, the girls would show up. And the girls from the other side of the tracks would show up, right? And they would be feeling some type of way because we be walking around the mall with our 2, 3, 4 shopping bags, our Coach purses, right? And they be feeling some type of way because they were of the girls that would equate having a little bit of stability and money to wanting to be a white girl. So I remember one day I was with one of my best friends, and it was 2 of us, and then we had 2 sisters that were the same age. We shopping around the mall. Y'all, this is a little intermission, so we ain't friends here, just fast forward through it. But this is for my friends. So we shopping around the mall. My sister called me on her phone. Y'all, it was, what year was it? Shit, we probably had a Razor. And my sister called me on the phone crying, talking about, these girls trying to fight me. And I busted out laughing because I'm like, y'all, my sister is not the fighter. When it comes to us, it's definitely me. So I end up real Coach bags, okay? Real, not the Coach, because you remember the girls used to be wearing the G's. We was wearing the Coach, okay? Wasn't hand-me-downs, all right? So she called me on the phone talking, these girls want to fight me. So we pull up over in front of Macy's. And I'm like, what's going on? I pull up, no talking, no discussion, drop the bags. What the fuck is up, right? And it's so funny because we was like in middle school. I was cussing like I had been cussing all my life. Like, bitch, stop playing with me for real. My mama has never raised me to be no type of no punk. I'm dead serious. Didn't matter if I came from the suburbs. Didn't matter nothing. My mama did not raise no punk. And them girls talking about, but bitch, I'm from blah, 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 blah. Do you know, as soon as I turned up on their ass, it was over. As soon as I turned up on their ass and I was like, I don't give a fuck, it was over. And they left. It was like literally 5 of them against really 3 of us. Because my sister wasn't trying to fight. She was going to fight, but she was going to cry while she was fighting. So, moral of the story is, Don't trust nobody that like to tell you where they from before they get down. Don't trust nobody who talk too much. Okay, I don't trust nobody that do a lot of talking. Hence, that's why I truly, when it comes to Jocelyn Hernandez and Amber Rose, who I think won the fight was Amber Rose. I don't trust nobody to do all that talking. I don't care where you from, Drew. So anyway, yeah, Marlo was mad at Drew because she didn't want to say the word shooting. Girl, bye. Okay, bye. You and telling us you from Chicago every 2 seconds, bye. Okay. So Marlo is talking to her friends and she's like, I just don't understand why I was triggered. I just don't understand. I guess it's because of the shooting and I kind of forgot that all this stuff happened and that she didn't really support my family during this time. And keep in mind, y'all, we got the receipts. They have already gotten us ready. I love that y'all provided the receipts. The girls haven't been given no storyline, but I think the editing is doing what they're supposed to be doing. They let us know that when the shooting actually took place, Marlo was still cool with Candy. They let us know that Candy said, let me know if there's anything I could do. There was nothing. And they also let us know that Candy thought that Marlo was a sweet person at one time. So a couple other things happen this episode. We see Sonya at her house with her sister and her mama, and her sister is feeling some type of way again about Ralph wanting them to move out of the house. And I'll say this, y'all. I ain't never seen a grown person mad to be in their own space. I want all those people who was telling me how much of a culture thing it is to come to the comments and tell me what you're seeing now. Like, it's so funny to me how there's some people on the internet who just live to correct you. And I think that those are some of the people, because I remember telling y'all last year that I didn't think something was right about one grown man and his family wanted to live in a house with another grown man and his family. Now, when it comes to a child and you have your older parents living with you and your family, that dynamic, okay, I get it. That's fine. You should take care of your elders. A lot of people do it in different cultures. But when it comes to two African-American men who are not of Jamaican culture wanting to live in one household, I don't know about it. And I feel like it was confirmed for me when the sister was upset that they had to go. You and your man are upset that you no longer have access to the lifestyle that your sister provided. It's just beyond me that your husband don't even really want to work for Sonya. You don't want your husband to take orders from Sonya, yet y'all want to live up under her. How that work? That don't sound right to me. And I definitely think that her sister is getting more and more nervous because she married the best friend of the star athlete. You married the best friend. I don't know what he got going on, but it sounds like he don't really know what he got going on either. He's trying to get into real estate, hasn't really gotten there yet. And you're stuck with the guy who was the friend. You're stuck with the guy who was the friend. And I think you're nervous about what life is going to look like from there on out. Okay. So we also find out about Kenya wanting to open up this salon. She's working on that. She's recapping her friend on Marlo, talking about Marlo slicing the girl in the face multiple times. And the girl is shook. I've heard of that before, so I really wasn't shook. Then in the next scene, we see Sheree. We find out that Sheree is a grandma. And she is in tears talking about how great of a father her son is. And y'all, I honestly thought that was a really cute scene. I did. Y'all let me know in the comments. Was y'all moved at all when Sheree was ready to cry thinking about how great of a father her son was? I really haven't been fooling with none of Sheree's nonsense this season, but that for me felt authentic. Only because she did say that she raised all her kids as a single mother, which I think is interesting because she was married. But I think that she was just happy that her son is going to be a better dad and get to experience the things that he really didn't get because she said she was a single mom. So I'm like, okay, that's cute. That's real cute. Delia says, she was moved. T says, I did love that scene. It was the only time I could stand her in 2 seasons. Okay. So y'all, we move on from that to Courtney. Courtney, who is that? Like, you don't even go here. Courtney, who is Drew's once, twice, third, fifth time removed cousin. I gotta read this comment. J Dub says Sheree could never move me. She could never. Steven Anderson says it was a good scene for her. Bob was a dot 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 dot. Bob was a Bob was a Bob was a dot 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 dot. Okay. So anyway. We get to Courtney trying to throw a group event, and y'all, I'm just like, how is Courtney throwing group events when you don't even go here? You're a friend of the show. Why are you throwing events? I really didn't think I was gonna feel Courtney like that, and I'm glad that I just peeped. I just peeped game. She wasn't gonna be my type of person, and I stand by that. So she ended up throwing the event, and Candy walks in hot as damn fish grease. And she ends up saying, hey, Marlo, I need to talk to you because if I don't talk to you right now, my energy gonna be off for the rest of the time that I'm here. So Marlo says, yeah, let's talk. Drew, Candy, let's talk over to the side. So they step over to the side. And Candy is like, what is this that I'm hearing about you feeling like I didn't support you and your your nephew was working at the restaurant? What am I hearing about that? And Marlo explains, this is the thing that would drive me up a wall, y'all. Marlo likes to act like she has sense. Marlo likes to act like she has sense, and she likes to play in people's face and taunt people and act like she's doing the right thing when she knows that she's pissing you off. So what she did in this scene was she tried to make it seem like she was taking her time, communicating what she meant, and just being very clear. When you really are an agent of chaos, Marlo. Nothing's clear about what you want from this. Your nephew is not going to come back from the dead. He's not. Let him rest in peace. And I know that's not what you want. Your motive is attention and gain from this show. I'm disgusted. So anyway, she's explaining how she feels like everybody comes at her direct. Everybody's talking about her slashing a girl in the face 50, 11 times, but don't nobody want to say anything as simple as the word shooting. Now, y'all might not fuck with me for this one, okay? I can't even fuck with myself for this one. But I think Marlo has a point. In all the chaotic trigonometry that's going on in order to secure a check and to make each other look like bad people, Marlo's right. Drew did not want to keep that same energy with Candy. I think that is full of shit that people from Chicago allegedly don't say the word shooting. And if you from Chicago and you a subscriber and you watch the video, comment down below and let me know if Drew is full of shit or if she's telling the truth. To me, I'm like, I can't. So I think that Marlo has a point. Y'all have brought up her slashing the girl in the face. And to me, this episode was just so unsatisfactory because it was nothing but seeing where both sides were trying to push their storyline across. Now, don't get me wrong. In the grand scheme, when it comes to all of this, I don't fuck with Marlo. Let's be very clear on that. She has horrible intentions and she's a nasty person. But I will say, I still feel like both groups on the show are trying to produce and they're trying to push their narrative across. So basically, Candy, her voice is shaking. She mad, rightfully so. And they arguing. And Kenya gets up and says, oh no, I gotta go check on Candy. Candy is yelling. She's bobbing her head. She pointing. She says to Kenya, now listen, if she come at me, don't put your hands on me. Don't hold me back. And I feel you on that because usually that's what happens. Usually, whenever you get into a fight with somebody, from what I see on TV, anytime somebody comes and they break shit up, they end up pulling back somebody. And the person who they pull back ends up getting the disadvantage or they end up getting their ass whooped. And it's like, no, if somebody swing on me, give me free reign. And I feel you on that, Candy. I do. So Marlo then taunts her and says, oh, well, look at Candy. Candy's crying. And Candy says, I'm only crying because I can't choke your ass right now. So y'all, we got Candy wanting to headbutt bitches. We got Candy wanting to choke bitches this season. And I'm just not here for the show this season. But I'm gonna come on every week and I'm gonna complain to y'all about it because I want to make sure we watching the same thing and I'm not tripping. So yeah. Marlo is standing with her hands on her hips the whole time. And Drew ends up saying, she's being aggressive. She's being aggressive. She's so aggressive. So they end up breaking them up. And then everybody who's cool with Candy ends up going outside, which is Kenya, Candy, and Drew end up going outside. And then you get the C team, Sonya, Sheree, Marlo, and Courtney staying inside. And when they stay inside, they talking about, why are they calling me aggressive? And this is whenever Marlo starts playing in our fucking faces again. See, I may be tall, but I'm not aggressive. And I just hate that people are calling me aggressive. And that's why every time I argue with someone, I put my hands on my hips because I never want anyone to use the words aggressive towards me. And I'm like, listen, this is a level of theatrics and a level of reach that I have not seen on TV in a long time. I'm so serious. I see people arguing about stuff that don't make no fucking sense. I see storylines that I can't attach myself to. When I watch the show, 2 + 2 does not equal 4. It equals 16. And I'm like, what's going on? It's not enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to tell y'all straight like this. Marlo's full of shit, period. The next thing I'm going to tell y'all like this is Kenya and Candy mentioned Marlo slashing the girl in the face at least 3, 4, 5 times. I believe Mayetta said it too last episode. Now on the flip side, you get Drew calling Marlo aggressive. I do not believe that Marlo was being aggressive at all. And as a person from Chicago, Drew, I think you should be more weary about using the word aggressive. Has Marlo shown aggressive tendencies? Has Marlo been aggressive in other situations? Plenty of times. I could even dare you to say that Marlo can be an aggressive person, but in that scene, it felt like a dog whistle. Just like y'all talking about her cutting a girl in the face is a dog whistle. I'm like, come on now. Now, Marlo, you played in our faces. You tried to act like you were exhibiting patience. You tried to act like what you were saying made sense. But you're using your nephew's death for clout and for a storyline. I think it's whack as fuck, and I think you're lame as fuck. So, y'all, I believe the episode ends there. At least I hope it does, because I stopped taking notes. I stopped taking notes. Hey, Donna. Donna says, I'm enjoying the season. I don't know about the Chi-Town people not saying shooting, but they love to remind you where they from. Cheryl says, she get mad about her incident from years ago, but they can call Candy a garden tool from years ago, and she has been married for 10 years. Exactly. A hoe, is what they try to say. J-Dub, I'm right there with you. J-Dub says this show is tied. Okay? So, yeah, y'all, I really ain't got nothing else on this show. I feel like they playing on my damn TV screen every single Sunday. And so much so that last week, I wasn't even trying to turn the show on. I was just sitting there and Ted was like, you ain't watching Real Housewives of Atlanta? No. Turn on some sci-fi. Turn on something that I really want to watch, because this is just really... Okay, well, y'all, I really appreciate y'all tuning in for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, as well as that other show. So if you like the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share it with a friend. I will see y'all in the next video. Ooh, Ladies First panel is not coming on this Thursday. We actually came out yesterday. We had a live show on Bonnie Blue's channel. So if you haven't seen that, head on over to her channel. And then next week, we gonna be on Jamie That's Me's channel. Okay? And I might come back and talk about the other shows next week. Not this week. I'm done. Okay? But I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching my video. Okay? That being said, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.